that same choice. And you all have the same power as I do. And that's to get involved, to make a difference. And I decided that I didn't want to be part of the problem. I wanted to be part of the solution. It's okay to look at things, and I see that in politics a lot. People like to complain. And the very first thing I ask them, because they'll sit there and complain to me for almost an hour, and then I'll ask them, very simply, do you vote? And their answer to me is always, no. For what? It doesn't make a difference. And I sit there and I go, really? Wow. Your vote does make a difference. Each and every one of you makes a difference. This country, this world wouldn't operate without you if we couldn't make a difference. I'm very passionate about this. And I got to tell you, I decided that I wanted to make a difference, and I want to be part of the solution instead of the problem. Has it been easy for me? No. I've taken on battles, and I've gone after people, corrupt politicians, corrupt law enforcement. People that most people would be afraid of. And you know what? Was it easy? No. It's been tough. It's been overwhelming, stressful. Sometimes I've asked myself, why do I even do it? But at the end of the day, I know that I do it because it's the right thing to do. And at the end of the day, as much as I would think that I'm going through it alone, I'm making a difference in people's lives. I'm making a people for the community to live a better life. And so at the end of the day, have I been very successful at exposing corruption? Very. You know, and I got to tell you, I was involved not only with the Bell scandal, I also exposed corruption in the city of Vernon. As you can tell today, their whole city is different today. If you recall, they were John Perez, a speaker at the time of the California State Assembly, had put Assembly Bill 46 to disband the entire city of Vernon because of all the corruption that was going on. I was working behind the scenes with the LA Times as well with exposing them. Today, the city of Vernon has become a better neighbor to all of its surrounding communities. As a matter of fact, I spoke to the Vernon Police Chief last night, Daniel Calleros, because he's been very vital in helping the neighboring cities of Huntington Park and City of Los Angeles, and right now I'm asking him to help us in Maywood bring in some resources, bring in some money, because the City of Vernon actually established what they call a good neighbor fund, and the cities that are surround Vernon are allowed to ask money from Vernon for projects up to $100,000 a year. And so why am I saying this? Because these are the good things that come out of fighting a battle. At the end of the day, yes, I fought a battle. Yes, it was overwhelming. Yes, it stressed me out. But today, here I built and have these partnerships with the very same cities that I was going after, who are now networking and helping me help our communities. At the end of the day, you do see the results. For the people that are out there listening, you know, you can make a difference. You don't have to go after the people like I do, but you can get involved in nonprofits. You can go to council meetings and get involved in the community events that every community has. You know, they all have Easter events. They have Christmas events. You know, they have sports programs. They're always looking for volunteers, whether it be coaches. I mean, some other cities like yours, Rob, actually have, you know, a lot more commissions. You know, and I mean, and they're always looking for people to volunteer for those commissions just to, you know, help out their community and be involved. It's been a 20-year journey. It's been a very rough journey, but it's also been a very rewarding journey. Today, I'm a city clerk. Why? Because the people kept asking me for years. They've asked me so many times, Jerry, you should run. You really care about our community, you know? And I've always said, no, I don't want to. I don't want to be in office because as a community activist, I can do a lot more. I can do a lot more as a civilian, and most people don't know that. But I'm telling you, the power is in the taxpayer. The power is in not the government, it's in you, the activist, the taxpayer, the hardworking class people, the students. You guys are the ones that run the government with your voice, with your vote. If you don't like something, go to those meetings. Address your government. You have that right. That's what I did for 20 years. Your government, at times, which I have become now, and it's kind of hard to even understand that because, like I said, 20 years as an activist and now 3 months, I'm a government official. It's been a different hat. They're there. And if they don't want to listen to you, trust me, if you make enough noise like I used to, you'll get their attention. And they will listen to you. As long as, and I mean as long as, and I'm making this a very good point, that you're actually saying something that's legit, something that's truthful. Because one thing I learned, Rob, also, is that there's a lot of groups out there that have an agenda. And I think we hear that in every election, special interest. They don't care about everybody else. They only care about their special interest, and they only care about their little group. One thing I did in 20 years as a community activist, and even today, and that I'm still trying to do, is I want to work with everyone. I want to do what's right for everyone. Not the left, not the right, but everyone. You know?
We'll be right back after these public service announcements.
I know I'm talking about.
Street Corner
Am I
Group's
getting my
Storefront Studios. It was an incredibly exciting time of discovery and growth. Steve Probst has seen and heard it all.
No, you're saying this, but I just want to make sure that I'm
and talks to the people who made it every night at 10 Pacific on the Steve Probst 45 Show on WPMD on the net.
See, that's
Listen to Rock from the beginning on the Steve Probst 45 Show every night at 10 Pacific.
But am I answering your questions and am I making a point to see the picture?
Yeah.
Make a difference.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I got 2 questions that
What are they?
These 2. There was this measure that passed.
Which one?
Hold on, let me play when I play the other commercial right now. Being a responsible citizen, you want to know what's going on in your community. And being a responsible community radio station, it's our job to let you know. So, WPMD presents the meetings of the Norwalk and Cerritos City Council meetings. Every Sunday at 5 p.m., only on WPMD, where people make a difference.
Why do you keep changing those?
We used to have 2 secret prayers, but the other one.
What are they? What are those?
One of them's promos.
I'm Tiffany. I have some tips for you on how to quit smoking like I did. First, I did some reading about it. I found a lot of great advice on how to quit smoking and picked out the ways I thought would work best for me. I started by setting a quit date. Then I threw out my ashtrays, lighters, and matches. I did other things too, like exercising more, and it worked. But I'd still get cravings, especially on long car rides. To help me with that, I put a picture of my mother in my car. She died of lung cancer from smoking cigarettes when I was only 16.
What is the process?
Now I have a 16-year-old daughter. That picture of my mother reminds me that I don't want to miss all the things my daughter is going to do in her life, including turning 17.
Captains have been wondering,
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT now.
Yeah.
A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
I know there's a measure that passed the state of California.
And we're back here on the public service announcement. Those were the public service announcements. This is the Falcon Spotlight. I'm your host, Rob Flores, here at WPMD Studios, located in Norwalk, California. And I'm back here with my guest. So, you were mentioning, taking on, public officials and stuff when, maybe they're not doing their job and so forth. But what is the guidelines and stuff of how exactly does one get, removed from office?
Well, the people elect the government. Once you get elected, obviously you serve your term. Usually, they're 4-year terms, most offices, and I think for the most part, the majority of government officials are good people. They're human beings, don't get me wrong, including myself, and we do make mistakes. But making mistakes is totally different than being corrupt. Corruption and being a public official is beyond making mistakes. That's when you're just flat out not caring about the people. You basically use your office for personal gain, and that's all you care about. is how do I make me rich? And we've had that happen in the past. Government officials making backroom deals with consultants, with engineering firms, with attorneys, all trying to figure out how they can take the money from the budget of the city. And when you start having that, and you can actually prove it and find out that these people are doing that, well, there's ways of getting people to help you. First of all, you show up at council meetings and you put that on record. You start asking your neighbors and your friends to start supporting you and start coming to those council meetings and start making sure that they also go up there and start putting that on record during those 3 minutes of public comment. Start getting the city attorney and let him know that you want action taken, because if he fails to take action as a city attorney, and also you got to remember, in every government there's other representatives. So I doubt that all 5 of them are being corrupt at the same time. You ask your representatives, which it might be the other 4 members of the council, the other 4 members of the board, you know, or those individuals who you elected to help you, because it's part of their job that if you expose it and they know what's going on, it's their job also to help you. And it's you can also go to the district attorney's office, the DA. They have actually a special integrity unit that's assigned that actually deal just only with the cases that have to do with elected officials. And they will get involved and help you as well. Of course, you would have to provide the facts, the evidence, and there's forms that you can actually file with the DA, Special Integrity Unit, with your complaint, and they will investigate it. And in fact, once they investigate it, and if they find, in fact, that there is criminal activity going on, the DA, Special Integrity Unit, will file charges, you know, and they will investigate and go after these individuals. At the same time, one of the things that I did other than that is the media. The media is very, very powerful in even exposing this in even greater lengths. With the LA Times, I was working with them behind the scenes. At the time, I never wanted to be exposed. I was an informant when I was a community activist. Me and Ruben Vivas, he would ask me for things. I always make sure if I had access to it, I would get him the information that he needed. Numbers, people that would be willing to talk to him. At times, you know, people are very afraid. I will be honest with you, Rob. People are afraid to go after government officials. I'm not saying everybody is, but a lot of people are. And I learned that. A lot of people are afraid to go after corrupt police officers. Is there things that happen based on my experience of going after people like that? Yes, there is. I will not lie. Is there times of retaliation and retribution, as they call it? Yes, there are. The very same people that I went after at times try to lie, make me to look to be the guy that was the person that was lying, not telling the truth. You name it. They will try and turn it on you to cover themselves, to make it look like, no, you're just someone that shouldn't be heard. That what you're talking about is not truthful. That what you're saying is all made up. But that's what people do when they get caught. They're not about to tell the world, yeah, I was stealing your money. Yeah, I took it. They're going to lie. They're going to do everything in their power to backpedal and say they didn't do it. And it's going to be your job, and I make this very clear, to continue to fight and not be bullied by these individuals if you really want to make that difference. At the end, once you get these entities involved and they get investigated, the end result is that you will be vindicated regardless of their accusations. And people will see that you are a fighter for their community. They will respect you and they will honor you. And later on, they will be the very same ones asking you to run for office, just like they did for the last 10 years, even though I never chose to until this year. Or last year anyways.
What's the process like to run for office?
Well, you know, it could be very stressful. My situation doesn't happen much. I'm going to be honest with you. I ran unopposed. The reason I decided to run last year for office was there was 3 people that decided that we're going to run for office. And this is something that I see in politics a lot, that I hope people are listening and are aware of, and I hope you take notice of this in your communities. There's people during elections that never attend council meetings, never participate in our community events, never even show their face to say I even care about our community. But come election time, they're the first ones signing up. They're the first ones wanting that position. They want that post. Those are the people you need to watch out for. Those are the people that are very dangerous. I want to make that clear. Those are the signs of somebody that's going into office for all the wrong reasons. Somebody who cares about their community, that wants to run for office, you should be seeing them way before they run for office at those public functions, getting involved, being there for members of the community and showing support for their government at the time. Not because they're planning to run, but because in their heart, you see that they actually care. At the end of the day, because I was one of those people that for 20 years have been involved and people know me, they asked me to run again. I didn't want to. I was originally going to run for city council. But because I work with so many neighboring communities, I built partnerships with Commerce. I built partnerships with Vernon, with Bell. I've been in Bill Gardens, the city of Los Angeles, which borders on District 14, which borders us on the east. I realized that as a city clerk, I could still work with them more of it in the city clerk's office as an administrator than as a council member being a policy maker. Either way, 3 people had signed up to run for city clerk. 3 unknowns. 3 people I've never seen in my community. 3 people that have never even shown their face at a public function to volunteer their time. And it made me mad. It made me very, very angry. And I said, I'm not going to let this happen. I'm running for that office because I have a choice. I can either allow those 3 people to run and one of them is going to win, even though they've never done anything for Maywood, or I can step up and say, no, I'm running. When I decided to run and submitted my paperwork, those other 3 people that had taken out papers decided not to run against me, leaving me as the only person on the ballot, which made my campaign a little easier than most people, because at the end of the day, normally you get 3 months to campaign. You got to raise money, you got to do fundraisers, you got to go out there and walk the community, knock on doors, and go and get those votes. I didn't have to do that, which was very different for me, because my vote alone, if I would have just voted for myself on that election, I would have won. Which, like I say, yeah, I know it's kind of funny, but it's unheard of. The only thing that shows in the community is that I was a very strong contender. And most strong contenders, I've seen this before only in Bell Gardens. There's 2 council members, I believe it's Councilman Pedro Aceituno and Councilwoman Jennifer Rodriguez, who I believe have run 2 elections unopposed. And that's because of their great leadership. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
You mentioned that you also worked with assembly members and stuff like that. Tell me about that.
Well, in order for things to happen, in any community, you have your local council, but your local city council has to also work with your local legislative offices, which is your local state assemblyman, and then you also have your local representative at the state level, which is the local state senator, and all of them work at a different level to help the communities to get monies into your cities based on the different budgets that are out there. So a lot of times when the city of Maywood needs money, of course we need to go and meet with assemblymen, and which I'm really proud of also now is Speaker-elect Anthony Rendon. We go to his office, and our electeds normally do that, which would be our council members and our mayors. And they normally meet with them and ask them, hey, this is the programs we're working on. Would you support us? Would you be able to find money for us from the state of California to help us pay for these things? As well as that when we have to, we also make sure that our state senator, which is Ricardo Lara, we also go through his office to make sure that we're all together in unity on agreement on making this happen, because when you have our state senator, our state assemblyman, and everybody in agreement working on it together, then things happen.
We are down to our final 2 minutes, but I noticed obviously it doesn't you don't have to decide right away what you want to do in life, but to give advice, if you could give advice to those that are they're still not sure what they want to do, kind of like pep talk them, saying It's not. You don't have to rush it.
Well, for all of you listening out there, especially you students, it's okay. It's okay to change majors. I changed them 3 times. You know, went from criminal justice, went to business administration. Eventually ran into my 4-year where I got into theological studies and Christian ministries, which, you know, when I was where you're at here in a junior college, I would have never even figured that. So you know what? It's okay. Life will tell you eventually where you want to go and what you want to do. There was things that I thought I wanted to do that I eventually found out I didn't like. So the fact that you try it, it's a learning experience. The fact that you want to give up sometimes on doing things that are overwhelming and hard in life and you want to quit and give up, you know what? It's okay to feel that way. I don't say do it. I didn't say quit. I said it's okay to feel that way. Everyone feels like quitting and giving up. One thing that I've had in my heart forever, and I keep it here all the time, is never quit, never give up, never surrender. Those are my 3 things that somebody taught me, and I've held on to those. Never quit, never give up, and never surrender. If you fail, if you fall, get back up and keep going strong.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time for being here on the Falcon Spotlight. We have reached the conclusion of this episode, but ladies and gentlemen, tune in every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. to Falcon Spotlight. Email me at robert06flores@gmail.com and look for the fan page on Facebook, Cerritos College Falcon Spotlight. Until next time, folks.
And it's a wrap.
Yeah.
So do you record all this?
Yes.
Would I be able to get a copy of it?